Well, hello there. Welcome to podcast number 4. This is Ty Wilson. I'm a left below the knee amputee, and I just started recently doing these blogs. I hope everyone had a good Christmas. Let that intro music play a little bit. Well, anyways, before I start this blog, I've got a little tradition that I've been doing. It's the positive affirmation drink. It's not a very clumsy name, eh? But maybe we'll get something better eventually. I hope everyone, like I said, had a great holiday. It's kind of a mixed bag for a lot of us. Seeing family with their various opinions and situations and all that, but it's always kind of good. I know as I've grown older, I've actually gotten a lot closer to people in my family, even people that I didn't necessarily get along with at one time. So before we get started too deep, how this works is usually I'm drinking a coffee. It's 11, almost midnight while I'm doing this blog. That's a whole different story I'll get into here in a minute, but so the deal is I have a positive affirmation I say every time I start this. Attitude is everything, and then take a drink. So if you want to take a drink with me, doesn't matter what it is. Usually I'm doing coffee. This time I got the devil's power drink here, Monster. Just shows you what kind of a day I've been having. Anyways, we're not gonna let that stop us. Attitude, okay, I'm gonna count off. Get it right here. 1, 2, 3. Attitude is everything. I needed that one. And I mean that. Your outlook on life, the way you look at life, the way you approach life is very been indicative of how good your life is going to be. I've seen poor people that are happy. I've seen rich people that are miserable, and everything in between. So what's been going on with me? Still been working out pretty good. Of course, I missed some of that during the holidays. It was kind of weird. I had one person tell me, man, you look like you put on some weight. And then a couple of days later, I had somebody else tell me, man, you look like you've lost a lot of weight. I can tell you by the way my clothes are fitting and by measuring my waist and whatnot, I've definitely put on weight. That's a little bit of a side effect, I think, of the working out I've been doing. Some of the things I've been eating. I've been doing higher reps or whatever on my little solo flex. But I believe I'm bulking up a little, which is good. I've got to start throwing some cardio in there and try to get lean a little bit. But I do definitely feel like I'm putting on a little bit of mass in my chest area, back, and arms, which I think is cool, especially at age 50. Still growing a little muscle. So that's nice. But that would, to me, indicate the whole reason why one person may say, man, looks like you're putting on weight because of the bulking up, and another person saying, looks like you're losing because they could see the muscles a little better. I'm guessing. Maybe they were both lying to me. I've definitely put on weight. I can see it here under my chin here in the video and all that stuff. And I haven't weighed myself. I need to buy a scale. I'm probably close to the heaviest I've ever been in my life, if I was gonna guess. I would guess I'm somewhere between 220 and 230 pounds right now, which, 200, 185, somewhere in that range is much better for me, or haven't been at that weight in a little while. I think I got down under 2 a couple years ago. So we'll see what happens as we keep with the working out. All I can do is keep doing it and try to stay positive. I went to Texas. I drove to Texas for Christmas. It was my mother's 75th birthday. That was really nice to go to. I left here, her birthday's on the 23rd, December. We had a great time. My daughter thought she might have COVID, so she did not go to the dinner. She then took a rapid test on Christmas Eve that one of her family members had. Came back negative. She had a sore throat and stuff like that. So I got to see her the day after Christmas when I left. And that was always nice too. So I got to see my mom, her boyfriend, family, and my girl, who's 23 years old. So on my way back, I have a friend of mine who's a prosthetist, and he started a tradition sponsoring patients every year around Christmas. And he did a GoFundMe and raised some money for an amputee that I know. And I was just fortunate enough to go through Lake Charles, Louisiana, and drop in while they were over there. And it was really amazing. They brought some groceries for this guy who had said he was gonna spend Christmas alone, and went and paid him a visit. It was really a nice thing, and I was glad to get a chance to go by and witness that. I think that's pretty neat. And to me, that's what a lot of this is about. I don't really have a theme for this. I guess it's, I was just feeling a really funky kind of not scared, but a little bit of maybe a scared mood this evening. And I thought, you know what, why not do a blog? This is the time to talk about this kind of stuff. My body I've been battling with arthritis and stuff really badly, and things have been going pretty good for a while, and I think maybe some of the foods I ate over the holiday could have affected me some, and some other things. Today, or I'd say about 24 hours ago, maybe a little bit more, my shoulder started hurting really bad, my neck. Some of it was how I slept. And then this morning I got up and worked out. I could feel it, but it was okay. And it was fine throughout the day. And then, man, right around 6 o'clock, it started hurting really badly. I came home, went to bed. I think I'm still behind on sleep from all the travel and whatnot. And it was very uncomfortable to try to sleep and get in a good position. So I just got back from the drugstore, went and bought some ibuprofen and stuff like that. That's where the monster came from. It's perfect for drinking your medications with. That is not advice, by the way. These things are horrible for you, I am certain of it. Zero sugar though. So my theory is, and it is just a theory, that I ate a lot of carbs over the holiday and some sweet things. I had a piece of pie a couple times. This evening I had a lot of tortillas. I stopped at a Mexican food restaurant, my big weakness. I had some fajitas, and I'm thinking, I've been doing a lot of reading, and for the type of arthritis I have, gout, they say that sugar, those carbs, can really be part of what causes that uric acid to go up, and also helps raise your blood pressure and all kinds of other things. So I've been trying all kinds of different things. I was going to try to do vegan but low carb, which is really boring and really tough to do. I mean, this is where you're eating a ton of food because nothing seems to fill you up. You definitely lose weight because you can't eat enough to keep your weight on, basically, if you're eating mostly vegetables and stuff like that. I'm talking no beans or any of that too, because they have pretty high carb count, or very little. So it's hard to get protein. And then I started forgot about that. I saw some videos on some other people that were eating no carbs and eating lots of meat. One guy even was eating bacon for a month straight, and he said it cured his gout and all kinds of other medical issues. I'm not sure if I'm ready to go that extreme yet, but I did play around with that a little bit. It's really frustrating. This stuff affects my mood. It affects my attitude on a daily basis, because it just makes it harder to be in a good mood and be positive. I keep pushing through, and it's just part of life. And it can affect the way I walk. my sleep, everything if I get into too much pain. So I was gonna put off getting these non-steroidal pain relievers, but past experiences told me if I put it off for too long, sometimes I would barely be able to get out the door in the morning to go get them, and it'd be a lot harder to get it under control. So I figured I might as well slam a few now and hope that they work, or at least stop the, subside the swelling, hopefully make it go the other direction, back down. Feeling it through here and in my elbow area. Right now in my hands, they've been swollen. Range of motion's been limited a little bit for a few weeks now. So like I said, all this is a little scary. It's a little discouraging. We do the whole why me thing, or I do. I'm sure a lot of you do too when you're going through stuff. Maybe that's the theme for this. Why me? And why me is a tough one. This gets into your belief about God and your existence on this planet. You're like, man, why me? Why did I lose my leg? Why am I going through all this? And when you have a disability like losing a limb, going through something, other things seem to pile up a lot easier. It's getting a little hot in here, by the way. Sexy time. But yeah, other things seem to pile up and just feel that much more overwhelming, I guess. And that's where I'm at. I feel a little bit overwhelmed right now, and that's never a good feeling. I think a lot of it's the environment issues. The weather here is nuts, hot and cold. We were freezing the other day. Now it was like, I don't know, 80 today. I don't know what it's raining really hard right now, and that's another thing sometimes that seems to affect my arthritis at high pressure. So all kinds of stuff going on, and then the COVID, the resurgence of this Omicron deal. Thankfully, it looks like it's not going to be, at least death-wise, keeping my fingers crossed, as serious as some of the other variants. And also, I have a good feeling that might be the virus in general starting to wind down. If these variants keep getting weaker, that's a good thing. Like I said, they got lots of cases. I haven't even kept up. A long time ago, I stopped watching cases because I felt like that was a fear tactic, and just started watching hospitalizations and deaths, and both those seem to be relatively low so far in this newest strain of this virus. Plus, where it started, who was about 3 to 4 weeks ahead of us, they're already winding down on it really bad. So hopefully in a couple more weeks, 3 weeks, we'll be on the tail end of this as well. Just got to keep pushing on. So I guess that's my message. Couldn't sleep, feeling a little blue. Thought other people might be able to relate to that a little bit. It's just being overwhelmed by and thinking, why me? Why does all this happen to me? And there's really no good answers a lot of times to that. And everybody's situation is different. I used to have a friend that I worked with. It was laughable what was a crisis to her. She would get so upset about some of the most, I'm not even gonna, like a broken nails or something like that. And I'm being a little facetious, but it was stuff like that. And she would act like it was the end of the world. And then you tell her, man, my leg is bleeding, I got a wound here, and she had no empathy, didn't really think it was that big of a deal. So everybody's crises and issues are their own. So it's hard for other people to relate, so that makes it even tougher, because they'll go, oh wow, man, I hope you feel better, but a lot of times you don't get a lot of empathy from other people, and that's people who may even, who are family members or genuinely concerned about you. They just can't relate a lot of times to what you're going through, and it can be a grind. Life is a grind sometimes. you know. I mean, it's an amazing world. You think back when just trying to survive a long time ago, what little I know about it, but you know, I imagine back then just getting through the day, staying alive and getting some food was a successful day, and that was probably a very stressful environment. So we've come a long way in a lot of ways, but in a lot of other ways, we've still got some of those instincts. We've got, without a doubt, I think if anybody, no matter what your political beliefs are, I don't want to get into that, of course, but we've got this news media on both sides just trying to scare the heck out of everybody and make things seem so bad. So, and the news has always been like that. It's, you know, there's never anything, doesn't seem to be a lot of positive things in there at times. And that, you know, so it can seem really scary. The country in general is obviously going through some crazy stuff right now. Crime stats are through the roof, murders and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff can be scary, be overwhelming. As I've always said, the best way I feel like to cope with these types of things is realize what you can control, and do your best to stay informed and know about the other issues, but you can only work on what you have control of. You got a coworker you're not getting along with, or a family member you're not getting along with, or a friend that you're fighting right now. You do your best to be a good person to them, but at the end, you can't control what they do, how they think, and what's going on with them. You can just try to be there for them and be the best person you can. Same with all these other external environments. You just got to get up every day and try to be the best you that you can. And I know I've probably been beating this subject a little bit to death since I started these things, but that's the whole point of attitude is everything. It really, I found, believe me, those of you that know that are fellow amputees or have other things going on, it's one of the scariest things in my life. I had no idea what was in store for me. And it was very scary. A lot of bad things went down, but a lot of good things happened as well too. You know, now here I am trying to help other amputees and working in the prosthetic business, and it's really neat. It's been a crazy journey. I was just thinking about it the other day, I have now been working in the field of prosthetics longer than the age that it will be when I retire. I'm 53, so what's the math on that? I'm gonna get ready to be 54, so I've got 16 more years till I get, if I'm doing my math right, till I hit, is that right? I'm not even doing the math right. Till, let's see, 65, so that's not, oh my gosh, am I totally messing this up? So I'm 54, and so to be 65, that's 11 more years. I can't even do math correctly. So, and I've been working in prosthetics for 15. I was with my last company for 10. So that's just crazy. Now, am I gonna keep working up to that age? I don't know. I'd like to think so, but a lot of that's health. Will I even live that long? Who knows? Maybe I'll keep working past that. Maybe I'll get into another career, if God willing, you know, doing something else. It's really hard to say. Nobody knows. So we just gotta get up every day, do the best that we can, and follow that path. But, you know, you have control over it. At the very least, you can be the best you that you can. You can also set some goals for yourself. Small goals, big goals, long-term goals. You know, speaking of retirement, am I trying to put money away? Do I even have the means to do that? Working out, I want to lose weight, you know, little goals, big goals, all these other things that only you can set up for yourself. Nobody else. You'll have a lot of advice out there. People will give you advice all day long, but they don't know you, and free advice is what's the old saying? Free advice is about what it's worth. So only you can do the research. If you're really into something, you know, there's so many ways now that you could learn more about it and get into it and do it. Even if you don't have the means to, you know, get out and ambulate because you're so disabled, there's so many subjects that you could at least get into and study and maybe be an expert in. Or heck, if you're interested in them, why not? Why not look at some things that you really like and learn about them? Be passionate. Find your passion. You know what your passion is. A lot of us, I think all of us do. I would say the one thing that I've kicked myself about over the years is music. You know, I played in a lot of bands when I was young. Had a couple opportunities to go to Los Angeles and didn't take them. Wanted the stability of a career and school instead of the craziness of the band. That was just a personal decision I made because I thought I was going to get married at the time. But I do look back and regret some of that I didn't follow that path. And that's one thing I'm still pursuing now. I've put out an ad in Craigslist. I'm trying to get together and start another band, do some recordings and stuff like that. You know, but that's something I got to balance with my work. I really, really like what I do too. So it's not that I'm dislike what I do, but you know, it's certainly prosthetics picked me. Well, so did music, but prosthetics definitely picked me more than the other way around. I probably would not have gotten in this field if I hadn't become an amputee myself. And it's been a very good fit. I don't regret the helping the people and stuff, but I do wish I had pursued music more in my life, and a lot of that's on me. I've had many chances even while working, and I've played in some few bands and I've had a great time. There's a lot of other distractions with that you can imagine that are tough to balance as well. You know, where are you concentrating your time? What are you focusing on? What you're focusing on is what your life is, you know, and that's why I try to give these warnings about the negative issues, news and stuff. Look, I like to stay informed, and I listen to a lot of political type of blogs sometimes and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I try to vary it up and not look at one point of view. I'll even check out some of the conspiracy theory stuff, but I try to keep my sense about me and take it with a grain of salt, and then I'll go all, you know, I that's one of my things is I like to know why people think a certain way a lot of times. So, you know, the only way to find out is to check out what they have to say. I think that this is one reason why Joe Rogan is such a popular podcaster, because if you've noticed, and now a lot of people are calling him right at this point in time, which, you know, he's definitely in the camp of rugged individualism. I mean, I don't think anybody would doubt that, but I don't know if he's so right on a lot of things. You know, he definitely does recreational drugs and some other things, and I think I don't know his leanings on other issues, but I'm sure he's pretty liberal in a lot of ways. It's just he's done some things that haven't made certain people unhappy, so they're painting him as but anyway, I think part of the reason he's so successful and so popular with his podcast is because he does have people from all stripes of life, all different viewpoints on his show, and you know, so people can get a more full picture. You've got to, I mean, if there's any advice I can give, you know, besides attitude is everything, is to make sure you stay open-minded and you respect the opinions of other people. So this thing has been all over the place. I know that. You know what? I do feel a little happier that I actually got on here though. And I mean, I'm a little sad. I'm doing the why me. I'm not gonna lie. And I probably will. I'll be battling against that on a daily basis. But right now, while I'm hurting and all that, it's even worse. But I can only control the things that I can control. So to kind of recap and go over this, and the why me situation control what you can, do the best that you can. Try not to dwell on the things that you can't. We can wish pain away. We can wish people away. We can wish situations away. And we can do our best to try to cope with those things. But there are certain things that are just going to be the way they are, and you have to accept them. Stay open-minded. None of us know everything. We should all always be looking at different points of view, and never think that someone else is not as smart as you or doesn't have anything to say. I've probably mentioned this before. Some of the smartest people I've met are not book smart, and vice versa. You know, I've met some book smart people that are just amazing as well. Everybody's smart in some kind of way. And I just backing up on what I think has been an issue. There's been a lot of people saying, if you don't agree with me, you're an idiot, going on over these last few years. It's been politics and culture in general. It's been very divisive. There's a lot of hot button issues out there that just because someone doesn't agree with them, they get painted as racist or a lunatic or a conspiracist. And sometimes that may be the case, but a lot of times it's not. And on the same thing on the other end, some people who push some of these hot button issues can seem very extreme, very radical and crazy. And yeah, once again, sometimes that's true, but sometimes it's not. There's a happy medium in there, and that's kind of what makes everything work, is getting together and sharing points of view and being respectful. It's so easy now on social media. That's why I'm really not on it a whole lot, except for this blog, to be mean to people, to be disrespectful to people, to be ugly to people. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I went down another road there, another rabbit hole a little bit. Overwhelmed, why me? Control what you can and do your best, do whatever you can to cope with that situation. Even if you're moving an inch, you're moving forward. You do, if you can't run, you walk. If you can't walk, you crawl. If you can't crawl, man, slide. You push forward, do what you can. Make a difference in your life, and I guarantee that will make a difference in other people's lives. It will, and be social. Talk to people. There's a lot that people have to offer. Look for groups if you have a certain issue. I haven't ever looked for a gout support group or arthritis support group. I'm sure there's one online if I wanted to, and maybe I'll get into that. Right now I'm trying to, speaking of that, get into or attend a support group meeting that they have in New Orleans on a regular basis here. Sidebar, I was in New Orleans today working, and I love that town. I may have to move there. Not for sure yet, but there's definitely, I love the vibe every single time I'm there. All right, well, I'm gonna sign off. I know I was all over the map. I'm not gonna edit this except for the start and the end where I push the buttons on this so you don't see this in the video as much, and it's free flow. I'm kind of just rambling, so excuse me for that, but it's very good to get a chance. Once again, I feel blessed to talk to people and to share my views, and heck, if one person watches and I touch their life, I'm okay with that. If 100 people watch, if 1,000,000 people watch, whatever the case is. You can always get a hold of me, 941-284-4651. You can text me is my preferred method because during the day I am pretty busy. But we can certainly set up a time to talk later if you have something you want to talk about. You can email me, ty_s_wilson@yahoo.com. And I try to check that at least once a day. So I'll see your email. And I think here on YouTube, you can leave comments, and on my website, Active Amputee, as well. Have a great rest of the week. We're going into the new year. I I don't even want to talk about resolutions and stuff like that. These are things we should be working on daily, but maybe that's a subject for another blog. Resolutions, they're fun, they're neat, but definitely that's something you should be doing all the time and not just at the beginning of the year. And that's a whole other mindset there. Since I'm on that subject, if you do what everybody does and follow the whims, it's like the stock market. So many people are bad investors because they pull out when everybody pulls out and they go back in when everybody pulls in. If you're the person that keeps your head, you're the person that is successful. And I know you're telling me, well, Ty, I've done really good over. Yeah, well, it'd be really hard not to have done well in the stock market, doing Bitcoin or whatever else over the last couple of years, just because of the way it's gone. But when times get tough and the bottom falls out, as it always does here and there, that's when you really got to be rational and keep your head. Same thing in life. The same thing with these resolutions. People make them. Not bagging people. I think it's great to want to try to improve your life, but they seem to get dropped, or people go back in their old habits by February. So goals, aspirations, all that kind of stuff, you got to do that. Be constantly working on that on a daily basis all year round, in my opinion. Anyways, signing off. Wishing everybody a great 2022. Can't believe I'm even saying that.